Today I'm going to be discussing a little bit about who YohDev is, what we do, and the type of work environment that we have, and some of our, the ways that we work, and everything around exactly what YohDev does. So here's a brief overview of what we'll be going over. Overview of YohDev, our services, the industries we serve, the team, how we work, our future and vision, and a place to actually get started with us if you want to get on that path. So a little bit about us. We're based in Winston-Salem. We've been serving the community now since 2017. We work at Flywheel once a week. The rest, it's remote. We have a team. We try to have a team lunch once a month. We're also starting to plan to attend conferences as a team, whether it's tech conferences to learn the latest trends, or even if we're also, like, our target client is marketing teams, and they like to go to marketing events, so we'll attend marketing events as well. We're very much a startup environment. So what does that mean? Even though we've been in business for 7 years, we recently just found our market fit. So we're constantly taking in client feedback, reiterating our services, and we're focused on our clients first. So it's very much startup. Some of the tools that we use change. Some of the processes are constantly changing as far as like how we can consistently deliver the highest quality project to our clients. And even to the point of, like, we're building our own internal tooling, and that's very much startup. Building MVPs for our internal teams, and then building future releases and features on top of that. So that's what I mean by startup environment. But we're very flexible with work schedules and working with the team to make sure everybody can be on the same page and hit our objectives for our clients and for ourselves. Here's some of our services that we offer. We do user experience design, SEO and performance, data and project management, web development, and ongoing development. And we also manage WordPress hosting for our clients. So we have multiple WordPress environments up on our platform, and we integrate that into our local development processes so that, like, we can have some CI/CD involved with some of our higher level clients, and we manage all of that on our own platform that we've sort of integrated with third-party tools. The industries we're serving right now is mainly building materials and manufacturing. We have some home service industries, and then we also work with startups, technology, and creative companies as well. We have 63 clients and counting. Since really getting into our growth stage, we've been adding about 1 to 2 clients per month. We actually predict that that's going to go up to about 3 to 4 clients per month in the next month or so. So we're growing pretty fast right now. We've delivered 200 plus projects successfully. We have a very low client turnover. Usually the turnover is we've handed off an awesome product and they don't need us as much, and we're just sort of like touching base once a year. We're not really actively engaged with the client, or they end up scaling up to a point where they have their own internal teams, and we help just that transitional process. We really haven't had any turnover from complaints. We've worked with brands big and small, as you can see down on the left. And yeah, it's just been, I'm super grateful for our clients, and we do have a client first focus, meaning that right now our clients is our number one focus, because they're fueling our growth so that we can, as a company, do much bigger and better things than just assisting marketing teams. Here's the current team right now. I like to call this the core team that you see right there. That's me, founder and CEO. My primary focus right now is customer success. So I am working with the client's budgets, their timeline, helping to make sure that the client's requirements are communicated properly to our team, and then really just gathering feedback, like how do you want us to serve better, or how can we serve better, that sort of thing. Von Cucchiano is our DevOps engineer. He's helping us with a lot of internal tooling. He's using infrastructure as code stuff like Terraform, He's using DevOps stuff like Docker, Kubernetes, and we're really streamlining a lot of our development processes. And he's working in tandem with Sham Kitson, who's our project manager, and they're working on automating a lot of the steps of our client onboarding process, project management processes, and then just sort of collaborating in that realm. Yexi, who's actually here in the back, she's our lead UX developer. So she works with UX UI software like Figma, Adobe XD. She can build mock-ups. She can prototype components, and then she also has the skill set to go and build the things that she helps prototype. She's wearing multiple hats, and that's where the startup culture comes in. She helps lead some of our contracted team. We have 12 US-based external contractors that range anywhere from WordPress, senior WordPress developers all the way to DevOps and cloud consultants. And she helps facilitate a lot of those communications. And then we have Michael D., who's our SEO and performance expert. Recently, a lot of our clients are having issues with some creative marketing agencies, and they're not getting the results they want from search engine standpoint and just in general. So we had to add an SEO expert to our team because a lot of our clients that we either take their websites over or we build the website for them, they always want SEO in some way, shape, or form, which typically turns into content strategizing and things like that. So he helps us on those fronts. As a summary, I mean, we're just a combination of geeks, creators, parents, mentors, and entrepreneurs. And I try to, really instill that culture into YohDev. As we get into some like how we work, you'll see that, a lot like we're very focused on innovation. No idea is a dumb idea. Always bring that kind of stuff up because somebody might have either went through it or it's another way of looking at a problem. And that's really what we're trying to do here as a team. And that's the team right now. Super grateful for that group of people. So how we work. This is just a little illustration here that I put together when I sort of revamped our internal processes. So we have the engineering team, which right now our primary focus is building websites, reiterating websites, enhancing features for our clients. So that's where the engineering team is spending most of their time. But I'd say a small percentage of that time is actually on our internal projects and our tooling, so building our own products. So hopefully that percentage balances out a little bit more as the internal tooling that's being developed is automating stuff that we don't have to do anymore. So eventually we're going to have a product team aspect into this, but right now this is how we look. Sales and marketing on the left side there. We have our own sales and marketing processes and tactics that actually work like right alongside engineering. Engineering's pushing different things for our marketing websites and different things like that. But we can also take that sales and engineering piece out and then put in clients' sales or marketing team as well. And then the client success team bridges the gap between engineering and our clients' internal sales and marketing teams so that they can constantly have that feedback and that the engineering team knows exactly what to build because it's coming directly from the internal marketing side of things and the sales team, and we can build the products that our clients want. This is our client-first approach, just in an illustration. We onboard new clients in what we like to call client cohorts. So we only onboard new clients the first week of the month. Why do we do that? Mainly for planning purposes. So you could kind of imagine if you have projects starting every other week and having kickoffs every other week, if your team's fairly small, it makes it really difficult to facilitate and kind of like execute on plans. So we group all of our new client onboardings onto the first week. From that, we collect information on the project, what we need to do, and we build out a project roadmap for the project. And then we move into our Agile development processes internally to handle a lot of that stuff. So for those of you not aware of what Agile development is, it's basically a methodology that a lot of product teams use, but we're adopting an Agile approach with YohDev, where we have daily stand-ups. Again, if we go back to this slide, this team right here is on our daily stand-up calls and any planning calls, and sometimes clients will be in those calls as well, and that the whole idea behind that is that everybody's on the same page, no information's lost, blockers can be communicated, and the client is not like at all surprised when something pops up like, hey, timeline's extended, because they know because they were on the call, or we're just constantly communicating that information to them. So we believe in that approach. There's some other things around Agile development I'll talk about a little bit later. Client will provide us feedback, whether that's, this needs to change, this is wrong, whatever, we fix that. Then we move it over to DevOps, and we have CI/CD incorporated with most of our projects. I'd say about 80%, where we just automatically deploy to production when everything passes and everything's good. So here's a little bit more about our Agile approach. Again, daily stand-ups, keeps the team on track, helps communicate blockers, helps plan sprints for individual projects. We have paired programming sessions, so we love doing this stuff because it helps us all learn together, helps us get through complex tasks, and it also builds camaraderie. That's number 3, the constant feedback loop. We keep the client in the loop. We go through our backlogs and our priorities. We get new work requests all through that. We work in GitHub issues, so every single client that we have, either they have their own GitHub organization or a GitLab organization, and we work in issues, meaning like issues are basically tasks, so it's like task management. When the project's completed, we utilize issues for more like support desk stuff, like typical like put in a bug request and it gets added to the repo. But the issues serve as documentation because we can actually use the issues and like find if an issue pops up that's similar. We can search the archive of issues that have already been closed out or worked on, and then we kind of have a good starting point. It offers value for the client because the repos at the end of the day are the client's property, and whether it's on our organization and we're managing for them or it's on their own, this archive of issues is like really valuable, especially if they have to add in a new developer later, because like you just got this nice story of the code. And then it helps everybody keep focused. So like, as we're doing our daily stand-ups and our sprint planning, we will assign issues to each other, pass issues back and forth, and just kind of keep that dialogue going during the project. Agile and velocity, or agility and velocity. So part of our process allows us to be flexible. So like if a client's shifting priorities around, or we as a team think that something's more high priority, we can shift the team's focus and be super agile. And then we also utilize some tools that help with predictability. So since we're using issues and stuff, we can get our average close rate, we can get our average lead time per client. So like, all these things are valuable for the client because if they're putting in an issue, they can like see, okay, well, our average close rate is, 5 issues a week or whatever, and the turnaround time's a day or 2. Like that's high value for the client. They like that information. And then innovation. So working on our internal projects, having an open development environment where, no questions stupid. We're all going to learn this together. And just, coming up with your own ideas and incorporating it into our processes and how we work on our clients as well. Here's some of the technologies that get us excited and that we work with on a daily basis. So from an e-commerce perspective, we utilize Shopify. We can use the Shopify editor, and we can also use Shopify's API. They have a GraphQL API that we use for front end. If we have a couple projects that do that. We use some really good CMSs. We like WordPress. 1, it's open source. 2, they have this block editor now called Gutenberg that is React based, and when you scale and if you want to go use what's called a headless CMS, you can actually get all the content and all the structured markup from those Gutenberg blocks and pull it in through your front end if like you were to use like React or something. So we like that. For some of the lower budget clients, we do use Elementor Page Builder. I think I was talking to some of you last week and you did go over a little bit of Elementor. But yeah, we use Elementor for like lower, because it's just quicker. It's like lower budget clients. And yeah, I mean, it does its job for the majority of small businesses. And then we're starting to use Contentful now as well. it's more of a content-based CMS, or content type-based CMS, I mean, where instead of having individual pages, posts, what have you, you actually create your data models to match your React components or whatever, wherever that data is passing in. So like you create it almost like it's like a data object, and then you can go call on it using GraphQL to pull in the data you need for your front end. Marketing tools in AI, we use MailChimp. It's an email marketing tool. They have a really good API. We use Google Analytics to help report on website performance. We use HubSpot CRM a lot for managing our clients' customer relationship processes. And then we're starting to get into some AI. 2 of them up there right now. OpenAI, we use ChatGPT 4 for a lot of things, like project debriefs, like mapping out issues or requirements for new features. Like we just kind of feed it the information and it gives us, really nice markup to paste into GitHub or whatever. We're also using it to generate some content as well. That was one of the biggest bottlenecks in our process, was the client would take forever to get us content. So now we get all the information we need to craft a good first draft of AI content, and then we're finding that we just start with that, and then the client can just edit as they go. And it's been really good. It's been 90%. Everything's good, and then they just fix a couple things. And then most of the time, if they're tech savvy enough, they can just go into the editor, into the back end of WordPress, and just update that content themselves. So it completely eliminated the bottleneck that we had with collecting content from the client. And then we use this tool called that little gradient tool that's underneath OpenAI. It's called Surfer.ai, and that's a SEO tool that we utilize for content ranking, like getting scores. And helping with optimizing content after it's published. Down in the left corner, we have some of the front-end technologies that we're working on. We utilize React, we utilize Gatsby, Next.js. Those 2 technologies are static site generators that use React as their main framework. And then we use GraphQL a lot for our headless applications that we work with. GraphQL is a querying language that allows you to go pull from the service's API, and then sort of just tell it how you want the data to be structured on the front end, and you keep it right in your JavaScript code, and then it just spits out all the data perfectly, however you need it. And then hosting and deployment and versioning, we utilize Netlify a lot for some of our headless approaches. So if we were to have a Shopify contentful Gatsby site, we utilize Netlify for deployments there. We can get personalized build links for each commit, for each feature, and then the clients can review that in a nice, safe environment. And then when everything's done and merged, it deploys live automatically. Again, GitHub, I'm sure everyone's familiar, tracking code changes, issues, all that. And we also use GitHub Actions, which allows us to automate a lot of our processes. And then we use Google Cloud right now for our internal workflows. So we use Google Cloud Run, which is a serverless technology, to build out build links for our projects. And then it's basically automatic. So Yexi will open up a PR, leave a comment, deploy, and then Terraform kicks off, and it just builds a very specific instance of our WordPress site and just comments that build link in the comment. And it basically allows us to streamline that, sort of preparing it for review. And then when we merge to main, a GitHub action kicks off and goes and deploys it live. So that's sort of how we're doing all that stuff right there at a high level. So what's our vision for YohDev? So when I first got, I guess you could say, my first professional career job, it was for a cement manufacturer that made a really fast-setting cement product. It got people excited. I could pour a slab, and within 40 minutes, Home Depot employee could be parked up on it, and wow, it was awesome. So it was really exciting. They offered ESOP, which stands for Employee-Owned Stock, or Employee Stock Ownership Plan. So I wanted to replicate that, because it really, it just brought everybody together. We were all sharing a piece of the pie. And that's something I really believe in. So I'm really trying to move towards an employee-owned business. I want to make a shift. So as I said on that earlier slide, where our engineering team is 80% focused on client work, I want to eventually make a shift to where we're more of a product development team, to where like our YohDev dashboard or whatever it's going to become is more of an enterprise level service for clients. And a lot of it is just, I want to be maintaining that product and how that all works and how the clients communicate with us and how we just streamline our processes to deliver. And I want to get that number more towards like being more dominant towards being a product development team versus a client service based team. And then outside of that, high level consulting services. So for the clients that are working in our processes, doing our systems, and they have that little extra bit of like need, they would turn into our clients. They would be very high level clients that we just consult with on a regular basis to help like sort of embed YohDev into their processes. And then I also want to just keep an encouraging, creative, challenging engineering environment. So keep it creative, keep it challenging, constantly just strive to be better, and just help build each other up there. And that's sort of where we're going as far as a vision. So I'm not sure how much the time I had here, but I wanted to make it pretty straight and to the point. So how to get started with YohDev? We have a very detailed career path. It starts with a paid internship. So it's 90 days. You receive training from us. You get to work on some client work, and you also get to work on some internal work as well. So that's typically the first step. It is a 1099 engagement, so you'll get your feet wet with like being an intern, like a contractor, which is actually a really good skill set to have in this economy. Being able to like take on projects and do individual contracts, so that process will work there. And then if all goes well and we feel like you'll be a good fit, we will move you to a contracted role, 3 to 6 months. You'll get full working experience there that you'll be able so you'll be able to put the internship and the contracted role under work experience. It's almost a full year of actual real life work experience. It's going to be about 5 to 15 hours per week. And from there, after that contract's up, if we feel that you could be a good full-time fit, or if a full-time position's available in your skill set, that we determine, like, yeah, this person's awesome at this, like when we have a role we're going to offer, we'll offer it to you. Or we do have a lot of contractors that come through working with us that they like to keep it contracted. So if you want to keep it contracted, we have processes in place there that can help that engagement go as well. If you want to maybe take on other projects or whatever. If you just want to work on one piece of YohDev and you don't want to deal with something else, like we might have something available there. And then growth opportunities, being a part of YohDev early, we are growing fast. And then we also, for our contractors, like we offer referrals and commissions. So like if you were to bring a project to us, like let's say if you were a freelancer and you got something on your plate, like, wow, I can only do one piece of this, like can we maybe work out, like we've done that too, and that works great. So that's just another benefit of working with us if you're a contractor with us. So that's YohDev as a whole. Any questions? We can go around the room if anybody has any questions about YohDev, what we do, anything else around our culture, process, whatever. I'm all ears and I can answer whatever you got.
So you mentioned that you would take on projects on the first week of every month. Can you like walk us through like how long a typical project would be, or based on what type of client? Like if it's a small bit of business versus some of your larger clients you mentioned?
Yeah, that's a good question. So typically, if it's a website refacing, which is like taking an old website and just putting a new, facelift on it, or making sure that there's some like technical stuff that's fixed for SEO or optimizing, that usually is about 4 to 6 weeks for that project. That's like our main type of project that we get. For larger projects, it really depends. We've had projects go on, like we haven't had anything go on more than 6 months. So But we do have one, like we usually, and if it does go on longer than 6 months, we'll break it up. So like we'll be, okay, this is the first phase of the project. When we get to this milestone, I'll negotiate with the client to see how they want to go next. But that's typically how that goes. Any other questions?
So you're looking mainly for front end.
Yes, that's a good question. Front end right now is going to be where this person who joins our team, or set of people who join our team, that's where we'll be focusing at first. But if you have other skill sets that could benefit either from our project management side of things, or even just like client success side, we sort of figure out like where your interests lie, and then we can like kind of shift things around as needed. But yes, front end is where our pain point is right now. Yexi's kind of solo on a lot of it, and as we grow, we're going to need somebody who can jump in and help with some of the smaller to mid-sized WordPress projects, and that's where that's where we really need somebody right now. But again, it moves to like eventually, as you get more and more experience, we work towards React. We work towards wherever your interest is, really. That's sort of the same idea behind like our clients right now are fueling our growth, and then like as our product sort of emerges from what our client wants, it's sort of the same way with our early on team members. Like as we grow, there's going to be opportunities that open up. Like maybe it's infrastructure stuff, or it's strictly database or whatever. Like those interests will, those opportunities will pop up as we grow.
So you're talking about having building a platform that customers can go into. What is it like your idea of what this platform is going to be? What is the product that you're?
Yeah, good question again. So right now, everything we do from onboarding a client to shipping a project has a process, and it's either either in like a GitHub template or like issues and stuff, or it's in Google Docs and I follow a checklist or whatever. The idea would be once we actually like start to get those manual processes figured out, like because like right now like I'm changing it every so often. It depends on, again, what our clients are wanting. But once we get a really nice repeatable process over and over again, the idea would be to then take that productized service model and then move it to where the client can handle a lot of the stuff without us. So like inputting all the information and communicating things, adding issues like to their own repos, like right from our platform, instead of having to like drill down into GitHub and find the right repo. They'll be able to easily just add in a new issue like right there from our dashboard. See all the client will be able to see all the the stuff I mentioned, the lead time, current lead times, what our close rates are for PRs, all that kind of stuff. They'll be able to see it right there, and then also pay and update billing information and things like that for like their invoices that they get sent. So that's where we're trying to get to. Right now, it's happening, but it's very manual. It's like I go through steps like SOPs that I have set up in our Google Drive, and all the team members have access to it, and they'll work the parts of the process. But I believe that we could get a lot of that streamlined if we have our own platform.
Where do I go to actually get in contact with you?
There you go. So yeah, you could go right there. I stood up the job application form pretty quickly. So as long as you really, the biggest thing is get your main information in there, and there's an upload for a resume. If you have a resume, that helps. Just throw that in there, and then we do a phone screening interview. Probably me and Yexi will be on that. It'll be like a virtual video like call. And then from there, we do have a small code challenge that we have our candidates take. And then, if all goes well, then we'll move on to the next steps from there. So that's how that process works.